ideally, it has to do with the individual. So someone or some system or some process has to determine the amount of growth, development, change, the amount that this individual, whoever this individual may be, me in this case, has grown to the degree where he's no longer a danger or a threat to his community. Whether or not I was a danger at all, according to my record, I was. According to what was on paper, somewhere, I was.
What was it? Why? What were they? What was listed there?
In my community, there was something that was loosely termed from playground to prison pipeline. I had my first run-in with the criminal justice system at 11, going through the park, a group of us, and we were stopped by the police and asked were we just at a certain location, which was a bridge overlooking a certain highway. And of course, we said, yeah, we were there. We were looking over and looking at the cars, and he said, okay, come with me. Everybody get in the car. Took us to the police station, and we were accused of throwing rocks at cars, which we had not done. We just did not do that. And there was nothing we could say otherwise. I went to reform school because of that.
You went to a reform school because of that?
I went to reform school because of that. And I'll let no one tell me that there's anything rougher, more cruel, more unjust, more humiliating, dehumanizing, more violent than a juvenile institution, because there's not. We all know how children can be. But children monitored and directed and guided and led into those lives by adults, and we have some strange adults that take positions like that. Not all of them, but we do have that. So that was my introduction to the criminal justice system at 11 years old. And
so you were punished for something that you didn't do?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
And but my point I'm making is that that introduction has been with me for I'm 75 years old, just in case anybody want to ask. I know I don't look it. I know I don't act it. And I can still move around. I'm not on medication or anything like that. And when people ask me why, inevitably, I have to say, well, I haven't drank liquor in 52 years. I haven't smoked in decades and decades. I don't do drugs. I don't hang out at night. And I don't know if you're old enough to hear this, but I haven't really had that much sex in a long, long time.
Oh wait, Irvin, just keep that closer to your
So I feel great physically.
Okay, so I just want to put a little seed into all of our thoughts. So just imagine if, Irvin, you grew up or we grew up in a system that was a restorative system. Even the incident that he actually wasn't guilty of, you wouldn't have been punished for it. You would have been called into a community meeting, and you would have figured out with other community members who had been hurt by the rocks being thrown at their cars what these young boys could do to right what had been wronged.
Well, see, that's...
Right, but in our system, we only have punishment for the very most part.
Well,
so
we have very few examples of restorative systems. Not saying that we don't have them or have never had them, because when I first came into the adult criminal justice system, you guys can believe everything you've seen and heard on television, because that was off the chain. I was 22 years old, so basically I was your age. I was a kid. I thought I knew everything, but I was a kid. And to be thrust into a system like that, have any of you guys seen Shawshank Redemption?
Who has? Just for the fun of it.
Has anyone seen it?
Oh,
a lot of people have seen it. Well, tell your buddies to watch it. And then remember this conversation today. Because when it first came on, that's exactly how it was when I walked into the adult criminal justice system, the adult prisons. No radio, nowhere. No TVs, nowhere. No library, no contact visits, none. It's important that you understand that that was another world. Literally, we did not talk to the staff or the guards, they did not talk to us. To do so was dangerous. And the place itself, by its very nature, was dangerous. And I'm a kid. And rape was rampant. And as Laurie said, I had just came from a system where we had begun to be educated in my community as to who we were as a people. And we were being politicized. We were being educated as to our connection to something called the motherland and greatness, Songhai Empire, the Mali Empire, Timbuktu, Benin, the Library of Alexandria. We had never known anything about that in regards to us. We were also practicing self-defense in our communities and being taught not to be afraid of a living ass.
Say that again?
Not to be afraid of a living thing.
Okay. No, I just, did you say ass?
I said ass.
Okay, okay. I thought so.
But see, these are adults. These are
Of course.
adults.
No,
And
it's all good.
so I came from a changing system, a dynamic system. So when we came into the penitentiary with what had been occurring for decades and decades and decades, we were not having it. We were not being preyed upon. Believe me. And we had to do some things to save ourselves. But it changed the philosophy, it changed the mindset in there. It let people know that what was happening and what had been happening was not okay. Just like out here, where you guys are at. Whatever is happening in your communities, whatever is happening in your neighborhoods, in your families, in your personal relationships, does not have to continue.